There it is. Well,
Recording progress.
hello everybody, and here we are again. We told you we were coming back. We wasn't lying. Um, Sandra and I were just discussing some things that we feel are coming in. Where I feel like I'm always feeling like something's coming in.
Yeah.
And it comes in and it passes through, right?
Hmm.
I feel like we're always waiting for the big thing when that's not necessarily it. I think it's the little things along the journey.
Right.
We're all waiting for something big when really we should be collecting the little ones.
I remember on the very first Lionsgate that I had fully engaged in. And I think I told you about it. We were sitting there and we're waiting for this big thing to happen, because hey, we're new on the
Right.
spiritual path, and we thought, well, that was a bummer. So we went in to take a nap. And during the nap is when all the good stuff happened. And so I came out and I'm like, whoa,
Wow.
maybe I should have been napping through that, relaxing and downloading all those keys and codes. And we were focused on the big thing happening, not that it's happening on the outside of you, it's happening on the inside of you.
Oh, for sure. I feel
Right.
like I feel like people are going a lot to psychics and astrologers and coaches and all of us out here. Um and trying to find the answer to that big thing that's coming. Um, I know that I spent many years waiting on the big break or the big thing to come in, right? Or our ships coming in type of shit, right?
Mhm. Right.
Well, and the ship may very well be coming, but don't miss the little tugboats along the way.
Right.
That's where
Right.
all the good stuff's at,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? We want to pass up. It's funny that I find that people are like, "Did you play the lottery? It's up to 100 million." Well, why not playing when it's 10 million?
Right.
Is you're playing for the big one, but wouldn't the little one be just as good?
The little one's just pretty big.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
and there's that old adage too. You keep looking at it and going, I wish I'd win, but you don't buy a ticket.
right. Or you buy a ticket and you don't win, so you don't buy another one.
Right.
And the other one's the winner, you know?
Right.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
but we'll never know, right? We'll never know. So it don't hurt as bad. But I feel like you're right. I feel like there's another something coming in. The astrologers out there will probably be able to enlighten us a little bit. I'm not an astrologer, but I got to turn my bells and whistles off or my phone's going to continue to beep. You know why? Because I got the door shut and I got everything on hold and God forbid, you can't
You're in
do that.
a high vibe, baby, and now it's disruption time.
Yeah, in a drawer.
I think that convergence was something that we really all need to look at, but maybe we don't know what it means. And so we'll put it in like computer terms so that people get it. When you got let's say you got Windows, I'm showing my age here. When you get Windows 12, let's say, and you've got Windows 10, and you're real comfortable in Windows 10, you can maneuver through that like crazy. And Windows 12 comes out, and all you got to do is push the button, and you're like, nah, I like it right here. I like 10. I like 10.
I'm
And then
comfortable.
all of a sudden, you got no option. You got to go to 12. And by the time you do push the button to download the program, and you got a whole lot to learn, and you wasted all that time staying in your comfort zone.
You got a whole lot of problems.
Right,
It's
right.
happened a lot.
So it's kind of like the old energy meets the new energy. The new energy is trying to come in, but the old energy is firmly implanted. And so you're
Because
going to
it's
have to.
comfortable.
Right. You're going to have to see the higher frequency and everything that's trying to come in. And when they overlap, you'll see it around you. And that was really bizarre to us. Like um we had old Bessie, that Explorer, for the longest time, and we decided we are going to sell her. Well, we're not going to get a whole lot because we couldn't get her licensed. because of rules and regulations in New York. So at the same time, our host decides she can put her car up for sale. Okay. Um, and we wanted this amount and she wanted this amount, and we ended up getting the exact same amount. And the identical companies came to pick the cars up at the exact same time, but two different people had bought them. Okay. And we're standing there and we made a little bit more on the Explorer, but the guy shorted us what, $50, honey? Yeah. Never came back. And it was the exact same amount that she had sold her car for. So it was this convergence. And we're like, you can't make up that the same company came. It was the identical truck that came, backed up, pulled the vehicles up on it. It's one of those you don't, you ride it, you drive it up on the back. And then the energy just felt really wonky for a minute. And then once we got past it, it was like boom, everything opened up. But you got to see the uncomfortableness before you realize you really got comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, and the universe is pressing on you saying new program, push the button. And
Yeah. I
day and
found that when we had our house fire, it was so interesting because we had intention to stay there for 2 years. Should I had got a transplant, and I did. We were going to stay there for 2 years and move on. And so it was right at that mark, about 2.5 years, and we were comfortable. We weren't ready to pack up our stuff and go, right? And we even looked at the house we're living in um before the fire happened. And we I don't know what we were sitting on, waiting for the next big thing to come along, right? Waiting for the aha moment to go. Finding the energy to get up and go look at some things, right? We just weren't there. And honestly, neither one of us were just ourselves there. It just we knew that it wasn't that it was a staging place to
right,
move through. So the longer we stayed there, the more uncomfortable it got. But then we got comfortable in the uncomfortableness.
right.
So we stayed there feeling the urge, feeling the energy to go, go, go. And one day I was cooking and made some big mistakes and I blew it up, right? I blew the house up, which isn't obviously the way that we wanted to go. But sometimes the universe is like, if you're not going to listen,
You're going to listen.
you're going to listen. And and that particular day I was doing too much at once, right? And and it just happened. So clearly the universe needed us to be here where we're at, because this is the place that we looked at, and the way that it fell into place was just absolutely perfect. So I think that waiting for this, I don't know, the big win, everything, the big everything. Um, I think if we stopped and smelled the roses along the way, isn't that what they say? Stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Right. Looking back, it's those parts of the journey for both of us, those parts of our connection journey, twin flame journey, whatever you want to call it. Um, um, it's those parts of our journey that were more significant, and that where we teach from.
Right.
We teach from the shit part in order for the people we're talking to not to have to experience the shit part as badly. They're going to have to go through some shit, but not as badly.
And there are couples here that have been on this journey for a really long time. You and Lee have been on this journey for a while. So have Alan and I, and there are some other couples. And when we tell people, we had to do this organically because we didn't have computer technology. That came along later on, but we didn't have computer technology, so we had to do it organically. You will always, always stumble and fall, and you got to get back up and get realigned. And so we had a lot of years to do that organically. And I think when someone does that organically, then you carry keys and codes that prevent other couples from happening to do it organically. Now they're here, they want to be here. We got that imaginary line. Who's going to fall on the line? It may be these couples that have went through it organically. So they're and when you talk to them, they are very, very they're they step into a knowingness as I know that this is what's occurring. They don't question themselves. On occasion, you might question yourself, and then you go, Spirit told me to do this. What happens if I don't listen? Okay, we've had enough things happen that if we don't listen, remember when my mom died?
Mhm.
Alan and I were like, oh my God, we don't know how we're going to live. We just don't. And I had to go to my mom's funeral, and we came back and we had some really high vibe conversations on Blog Talk Radio back then. And all of a sudden, the landlord comes to us right after that and says, oh, I'm not going to renew your lease. Okay, well, we got a couple months, right? No, it's a 10-month lease. I said, I didn't sign a 10-month lease. Okay. Yes, I did in this dimensional time space. So
Mhm.
now all of a sudden, I got to pack everything up. Where am I going to go? I don't have a dime. I just went to my mom's funeral. And all of a sudden, the universe just clicked. It aligned. It was perfect timing in that space. I didn't know it, but the universe did. So the higher version of me, YO universe, um, knew what was about to occur. And I left my landlord's house, and he was really upset. I thought you guys would fight with me or tell me you wanted to stay. I'm like, you told us you weren't going to renew it. So we were doing what we need to do. And as I'm leaving his house from turning the keys in, I get a phone call and says, this is the guy up on the mountain who has the cabin, and the girls told me you're interested in it. It's been sitting empty for 2 months. Do you want it? Without hesitation, not having a penny in my pocket, I said, oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I
Uh-huh.
got home, and Alan goes, how are we going to do this? I don't know. The universe says an angel's coming. That's what this journey is all about, is crossing across the line of faith and saying, it's all there, and I don't have to see it to know it. Or I can see it and step over, and it doesn't have that flow.
I had that question posed to me just last week. How strong is your faith and what is it in? And I was like, whoa, huh.
That's a
Well,
pretty deep question.
it really was. I quickly answered with, my faith is in myself. I know I'm never going to let me down because I've let myself down before a lot of times. And I didn't like the way it felt, right? So, right, I know that I can trust myself. I know that I have faith in myself to be able to do what it is I need to do. There's an extension of me. I also have faith in Lee. I have faith that, Lee does what, does what he's supposed to do, right? Um, I know that he's going to be there. I have faith that he's there, right? I just know that he's there. So I have faith in our connection. Um, I have a lot of faith in our connection. I have a lot of faith in me and my abilities, my desires, all those things. I don't have a lot of faith in material things or human beings in general.
Right.
I have faith in my spirit guides, in my universe. I know that I can trust in my spirit guides. I know that I can trust in, the spirit world to move me along the way that, I feel like I need to be pushed sometimes. And I have faith that the universe handles that. I have faith that when there's an issue, that it's already handled. I just got to have the patience for it to come. Um,
It's not always going to come the way you think it should look like it would come.
right. And sometimes that would seem to be disappointing, but in the long run, excuse me, those are always the best times.
Right.
Um, the ones that you feel wouldn't, it's the same way on the internet. Those videos that you feel are just worthless and not worth nothing are the ones that go viral, right?
Right.
And the video that you put all your time and money in has like 5 views. So it's like that on the internet. It's crazy. It's like that everywhere. Um, I just know that there's got to be something in you that has some type of faith in something unworldly. Um, and I feel like it could be a number of things, right? Um, something spiritual. Um, in that same discussion we were having today in a group, that there was somebody saying that they pity me for my beliefs or something, and I was like, I pity you for yours. What? I don't understand. I mean, I don't I don't get it, but I don't believe in a human being that rules things. I just don't.
Right.
And I don't feel that that's wrong in any way, shape, or form. I just feel like it's my faith, it's my belief. Um, I definitely believe in higher powers for sure. I'm very spiritual. I believe in higher powers. I pray, I meditate. I mean, I talk to my spirit guides and things. So stop and think, what is it do we have faith in? Do we have faith that the big thing's coming? But we don't seem to want to have faith that the little things are adding up to anything.
Right.
And we say over and over and over and over, it's not the destination, it's the journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Um, but getting people to understand that the trials and whatever you're going through here now in this moment is already handled by whatever, whoever, however you believe and you have faith in. It's just I feel an energy surrounding energy, like energy. Oh, um, and it just all forms into whatever it is you're manifesting or trying to manifest. I mean, that's my belief system in a nutshell. But faith is faith is important. I feel like it's important. If you don't have faith
Right.
in something, it would seemingly be depressing and
Right.
yeah, and almost sinister.
I think the very first message I ever got as an adult, when I was actually, now I'm fully engaging in spiritual practices and going to different groups and enjoying myself. And the message was, now as a human being, you get to experience what faith really means. And so I was like, excuse me? I'm defiant.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, now you're going to learn what faith really is. Faith doesn't mean I'm going to see it and then everything just smooths back out. No. Faith means I'm going to cross the line. It may not look real pretty, but there is a reason for being on that timeline. And what is that reason? Well, who knows? But we're traveling all over the place and we're in wilderness spots. You ask me what I think we're doing some serious grid work. Um, Ask someone else that and they'll go, I don't know. No, what you need to do is really get into the knowing and know that you don't have to ask someone, ask yourself, what is it I'm doing? Where am I going? Wait for the signs, act upon the signs. Sherry, if you woke up in the morning, and I ask people this, so if you wake up in the morning and you put your feet on the ground, and all of a sudden, in your spiritual way that you get your messages, spirit goes, you're moving today. How quickly are you going to pack?
Yeah.
Or are you going to say, nope, I ain't moving. No way. Okay. Alan and I, Alan and I are the first of the two. So if we wake up in the morning and I get a message that says we're leaving today, we may not have a dime in our pocket. We may not understand where we're going. but are we going to put our shoes on and go, okay, let's start packing the RV up because we're going somewhere? And a lot of people are like, oh, no, no, no,
Well, yeah, a
I'm not
lot of
doing.
people are going to want to stop and question and test it.
Right, right, right.
Is that
And
what I heard? It's not what I heard. Eh. Um, I've done that multiple times.
right?
And the last few places that we lived in a condo, and we had this amazing view, and it overlooked just this field, and we would watch the wildlife sitting on the balcony. Woke up one morning, bulldozers building a complex. So we moved, and then the we were comfortable where we're at, and the universe said no. Um, you're going out here. So we went out there and we were great until listen at this. We're so defiant. Um, all of the beautiful wooded area that was our neighbor woke up one morning again to the beeping of bulldozers, and they're just ripping the trees down. And word was they were building 76 houses next door. So we were like, well, we don't want to be here. We want to move, but we didn't. Um, and a year later, they started building those houses, and then I got sick, and I needed to be closer to the hospital and quick. So we had to move. I
Right,
told Lee, I said, if we would start listening to Spirit a little bit more, I would suffer way less tragedy.
right, right. Oh, girl, we know. We know.
If we just had that mustard seed of faith in
Right?
whatever we're talking about, whatever we're trying to manifest, or whatever we're trying to do, if we have that faith and we have the motivation to put that faith into action,
Uh,
that's important. That's
action
important
steps are very important.
because I'm a sitting in a waiter. I'm gonna wait clearly, right? We won't do that anymore. We'll probably listen to the universe. Um, but I would do that. I'd be like, wait, just wait. We'll get more hints. Just wait.
How much more do you need?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, the faith's big. Faith's big. And it just really depends on what it is you have your faith in. And do you have your faith in a partner who's saying they're coming back, but they never do? Do you have your faith in a partner who you're pouring all of yourself into, but you're not getting that back? I mean, are you pouring your faith into you? Are you pouring your faith into someone else? That's a big question, right? And your answers are in there. Am I having faith in that person or having faith in myself? Myself is telling me to let him go, but I'm not gonna. And then so much shit happens.
And you're like, why didn't I just listen the first time?
Yeah. So what Sandra and I think will do is this is a pretty neat topic. And if you have any questions, put them down here below and we'll continue the discussion next week. I think it's a pretty cool topic on faith and having faith really in the little parts of the journey instead of waiting for the big bang or the big ship to come in, right? When when the little ships are carrying valuable stuff too. We just don't think it's valuable enough because it doesn't come in a big package.
Yeah. Well, usually the big packages come in big, what do I want to call it? Big bada booms. They
Mm-hmm.
come in and it's like you're looking for this beautiful experience, and all of a sudden you blow a transmission in the middle of a trip, hauling an RV behind you. What are you going to do? Well, Spirit, what are we going to do? You're going to glide into that parking lot and park it. Okay. Glide into the parking lot, get out of the RV, go sit up next to a tree, sit there and go, now what? Go get a room. There was a motel right there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now
Okay.
what are we, now what are we going to do? You're going to rest. okay, here, we're gonna rest. We get to take a bath. There's a bathtub, there's a shower. Um, Luckily, all the food that Sherry packed for us um was taken care of in the refrigerator because as soon as the electric goes off,
Mhm.
boom, the propane kicks in. So everything was there, and we were in that space, and they didn't have a restaurant, nothing in that town. And we're without a vehicle. It takes a lot of faith to step into things that are really uncomfortable, and you can see the beauty in them and why they happened, why it lined up that way. But you can't see it while you're in the energy. You just got to remove yourself from an energy that wants you to kick and scream and throw a temper tantrum, and get out of that and observe it from a different perspective. And then you get to go, oh, and it may take a month, it may take 6 months, it may take a year for you to look back and see it. But when you do, you're like, I couldn't have orchestrated that if I tried.
Right. Um, Sandra and I will be back next week. We don't try to keep you any longer than 20 or 30 minutes because we could go on forever
Ever.
and ever. But Sandra, go ahead and let them know if they want to find you in the meantime, where, how.
You can go to Twin Flame Divine Fire at .com, or you can send us an email to twinflamedivinefire@gmail.com. Divine Fire Creations, we've got that set up on our main page for our clearing mist, where you can order the clearing mist and we'll get it out to you and spray it everywhere. It's miraculous stuff.
Clearing
Uh,
mist is amazing. I actually cleared my house with it just this morning. I was going to burn some Palo Santo and I thought, oh, I don't have to do that. I got clearing mist. And yeah, I got every room and the closets and the cupboards and everything today. It just smells really good too. Sometimes I'll give myself a quick little spray.
yeah, it's
And
very grounding. You
yeah, I really
know?
like it. I also want to mention just because she's amazing, Carrie Plank with Alpine made
Yes.
products. They're absolutely amazing. And we are not paid representatives. That's how good the stuff is. We just like to tell you about it because it's amazing.
And
Um,
she's the maker of our clearing mist.
she really does. She puts intention into it, and I love that. I'm particularly addicted to to the salve, and she makes a colostrum.
Yeah, the colostrum serum.
Oh, I love it. So yeah, go find Carrie's products at alpinemade.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am Sherry Patterson of Lee.
We.
If you watch The Handmaid's Tale, I am of Lee. But no, I'm yeah, I am just part of that whole Lee Sherry thing. I'm the Sherry part. And hey, look, if you really want to see more of Sandra and Sherry, and why not? We're so fun. Um, Subscribe to our channel and here to the YouTube channel so we can go live on here and have some contests and do some fun stuff. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook page. We would really appreciate it. We need at least 100 people that like us. I mean, there's got to be a couple out there.
Hey, we got a world or many worlds full of knowing
Right.
and a lot of really good information for
Right.
people.
Great
Uh,
information. Both of us are in union. Both of us are in union. Harmonious union. Harmonious can be taken in a lot of different ways. If you but it is harmonious union. There's even harmony in the yelling. And there ain't much yelling. Except for man, uh when he leaves the dryer going. Um oh, I can't find anything else wrong with him.
Hey, it doesn't matter how they move the energy, how we move the energy. If a good little yell is going to move the energy, by
Sure
God, I'm
does.
going to yell.
And sometimes I need it. Sometimes I need it. So, guys, thanks for watching. And Sandra, hang on just a second. Don't you go nowhere. Um,
Okay.
but we'll say goodbye to them. You can find me and Lee at relationshipreinvent@gmail.com, relationshipreinvent@gmail.com, or relationshipreinvented.com, I guess. I don't know. And we'll be back next week, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what we talked about today, faith, and what have you missed in the little things waiting for the big thing. Put your comments down here. We'll take a note of them, and we will answer them and talk about them next week. And thank you guys for watching.